Welcome back to Plot 27. This video is a recap of a horror movie titled Behold. Rebecca is a woman suffering from depression after losing her son, Zachary. Rebecca and her husband Peter have been separated for several months since the tragedy. One day, Rebecca becomes terrified after hearing noises coming from Peter's room and immediately tries to contact him. Peter is a pastor, but he can't be reached, so Rebecca leaves him a message and asks him to come home as soon as possible. Rebecca later wakes up in fear after seeing a dark figure, but it turns out to be just a dream. Feeling that someone has broken into the house, she grabs a gun. Soon after, Peter arrives. Seeing her condition, Peter assumes Rebecca is drunk and hallucinating. They check the room together but find nothing. Since Zachary's tragic death, Peter has been angry because Rebecca no longer wants to pray to God. After encouraging her to pray again, Peter leaves because he has to return to the church. The next day, Rebecca sees a flock of crows entering the house. She goes upstairs and notices that Peter's office door is open. Gathering her courage, she enters the room and finds crow feathers inside. Peter's colleague Miriam comes to provide spiritual counseling. She urges Rebecca to surrender herself to God and trust in His power. Rebecca says she feels better now because she met Peter the night before, but she suddenly recalls her traumatic memories after seeing the crow feathers. Rebecca prepares dinner because Peter is coming over, but she's confused by his behavior. She apologizes and asks to fix their relationship, only to be shocked when Peter brings divorce papers. Peter brings up Rebecca's past mistakes, including an incident when she showed up drunk during his sermon and shouted at the congregation. Rebecca explains that she acted that way because she was deeply traumatized by Zachary's death, but Peter stands by his decision. In her frustration, Rebecca grabs a gun and is about to end her life when something strange suddenly happens. They inspect the entire house, and Peter shoots an opossum hiding in the attic. Peter recalls a time when he and Rebecca introduced God to local residents in a region of Mexico, but Rebecca suddenly sees something horrifying. After calming her down, Peter says that maybe God called Zachary home to protect him from the evils of the world. Hearing this, Rebecca asks what really happened at the camp that caused Zachary to hang himself, but a shadowy figure suddenly runs into Peter's office. Rebecca and Peter are terrified, sensing a dark entity in the house. Rebecca urges them to leave immediately, but Peter refuses. He insists they must face it, believing God has chosen him to confront the entity. After reassuring Rebecca, they go back inside the house. Black smoke with a sulfur-like smell comes out of a room, but Peter believes it's a miracle. When he touches the door, he says he can feel pure energy, while Rebecca feels intense heat. Peter then recites words in Aramaic, and lightning suddenly strikes a tree outside. Rebecca is disturbed by the fact that Peter still sees it as a miracle. After changing her clothes, she sees something horrifying coming out of the bathtub. Suddenly, Peter shatters a glass and his hand was injured. Rebecca watches as Peter smears his blood on the door. The house begins to shake as Peter continues speaking in Aramaic, and the cross on the door is violently thrown off. Peter's hand suddenly heals. He says that under the law, almost everything is purified by blood. Peter claims that God is in their house, but then he collapses. Rebecca takes Peter to Miriam's house because she believes there is an evil force in their home, but Peter remains convinced that everything happening is a miracle from God. Miriam tells them to stay the night and plans to investigate the situation the next morning. Rebecca wakes up from a nightmare and is shocked to find that Peter and Miriam have secretly gone back to the house. Rebecca rushes there, and when she arrives, she sees Peter and Miriam performing a ritual in front of the bedroom. Rebecca tries to reason with Miriam, believing that what's inside the room is a demon. Peter becomes furious and locks Rebecca inside a room. When she tries to escape, Peter suddenly grabs her. Miriam appears to lose consciousness and then takes her own life, believing it will allow her to meet her God. Rebecca tries to escape, but all the doors and windows are locked. It's then revealed that Zachary did not die by suicide, but Peter killed him, believing it was a sacrifice to God. He claimed he wanted to save Zachary, who liked to dress in feminine ways. Peter convinces Rebecca that Zachary is waiting for them in heaven. When Rebecca finally agrees to leave the room, Peter tells her to do what Miriam did. Rebecca holds a knife, but suddenly attacks Peter instead. The bedroom door opens, and Rebecca sees the demon take both Miriam and Peter. After everything is over, Rebecca enters the room and finds a piece of charcoal. The next day, Rebecca throws the charcoal into the river, and the movie ends. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the next movie recap.